This is a working graphing calculator in Minecraft. But before we can get to that, we need to go back to 4 months ago when I first had the idea. Little did I know, this one idea would send me down a huge rabbit hole from positive numbers to negative numbers and even square roots and parabolas. And if you don't know what any of those words mean, then keep watching as you will soon find out. But in order to begin, we first need to figure out what algorithm I should use to graph. My first idea was to plot a point, then connect it to another point, but then pesky details like how that even fit in Minecraft. Like you would need to put redstone going in all 4 directions for every segment of the display, which is just way too complicated. So I decided to scrap that idea and just plug in X every time for each whole number. But I thought about it, and all I would do is plot points and not connect them like this. So to connect the dots, you can either plug in X like 5 times more often, which would be way too slow, or you can take my route and just plug in Y to fill the gaps, which would be fast and accurate. Now on to actually building it. Now, how do we build this in Minecraft? First, we need a screen, which is actually the simplest part. Just make a bunch of lines horizontally and vertically, power 2 of them, and where they line up is a point. Then just make it store the data and make it clearable. Now the components. I want this to be able to do a parabola, which is a big U, or the graph of x squared, and just normal lines, so I would need an adder, subtractor, multiplier, divider, and a square rooter. The square rooter is the hardest because I have no idea how to build it. So a quick tutorial later, and I had all the components. Or so I thought. You know the adder and subtractor? When we plug in all the numbers, positive and negative, the adder and subtractor won't be able to comprehend negatives. But all I need to do to fix this is flip the order and flip the sign. For example, 3 minus negative 8 would become 8 plus 3, which I do here. You're just gonna have to trust that that's what it's doing. Now I need to make the controls for everything. Basically, the controls need to be able to change the wiring of the machine in order for it to do a specific commutation with just one button. For example, right now the numbers go past division without doing a computation, but when you select division, it locks this path and unlocks the path to the divider, and we actually need to store that data for 2 separate equations, so we actually have a line. Oh, and did I mention I have a second screen to display the equations? This one took like way longer, took like 5 hours. Now I was finally finished, is what a stupid idiot would say. Anyway, let's do the first attempt. It obviously did not work, and now came to bug fixing. Basically, fixing problems that you didn't realize were going to be problems, and just stuff you forgot because I'm a human. Some of the notable ones were when you divide and don't get a number bigger than 1, you get no output, and the square rooter just not working for some reason, just like dumb stuff like that. Now that I have done a lot of bug fixing, testing, and bug fixing again, it was finally finished. It's what a stupid idiot would say, were you not paying attention? But now it's time for more bug fixing. But this time we're fixing stuff that was already working, because it's not working. I don't know, it oxidized or something. There's not a single piece of copper in this entire build. So a lot more bug fixing later, you're finally finished, for real this time. Except you had more bug fixing. Nah, I'm just messing. But actually though, I did have to do more bug fixing. And what you just experienced is 1/10 of what I had to do. Now after all that bug fixing, I think we were finally ready and able to say, this is a working graphing calculator in Minecraft. let's use it. Okay, let's do a nice little line. And hit graph. Well, the best part about working for quite some time is that now all I have to do is wait. And we didn't have to wait long. Because in just X hours... Wait, was I supposed to time how long it took and change the X to that? Well, whatever, we'll just leave it in. Anyway, I finally did it. I think. It could break on everything else. On that happy note, let's do a parabola. And hit graph. Now it's probably a good time to mention what actually happens when you hit graph. How it actually graphs. First it plugs in -1 for y and does all the computations. Then the point is stored in the screen. Then another signal is sent to shift the number to -2 and it does the same thing. Then it does that up to -16. Then it switches the sign to positive and does the numbers 1 through 16. Then it switches the equations and plugs in 32 numbers, positive and negative, and then you have a full graph. Now back to the parabola. No way, it actually works. And there's one little detail I forgot to tell you. You can rotate and flip each graph with just one button. Actually it's two because you have to press rotate and then graph, but whatever. So more graphing. Well, that's about it for the Bedrock graphing calculator. There's still lots of things that could be better and faster and just, but this is a good prototype. Please subscribe. This is like the only Bedrock graphing calculator. That's gotta be worth a sub. Wondering, it only takes 1 hour. Watch another one of my awful videos.